How's it, everybody?
How's
this is
it,
Karen,
everybody?
and this is my dear friend J2, Scott
J2,
Katsura.
Scott Katsura
I'm
in the
so
flesh.
excited that you're here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm
Karen.
so excited, and he's back home. You're
Yes.
a local boy because you're from Hawaii.
Yeah, and look at these beautiful ladies that Karen.
And when we talk about these character values, we're talking about like gratitude and kindness and compassion and love and even the idea of gratitude and saying please and thank you.
Yeah.
You were telling my students a story today about how being nice today is seen as weak. Can you elaborate on that or tell us more about that?
Yeah.
Like, why do you think that? Why do you think that is in this world?
What I found by speaking to everybody around the world, and when I start to speak to different cultures, especially the young generation, what we call the millennials and even younger, they started to say, "Oh, what are you talking about? Please is a derogatory term. I go, how can please and thank you
Be derogatory, yeah.
So they said, "Oh, because today it's not cool for say please and thank you, because you sounds like you begging, sounds like you sucking up." You want some stuff. I said, wow, you know what I mean? I can see the logic with how people trying to be cool, in a society like today that can be very influenced on materialism and status quo, right? But I thought, wow, that is just so sad when you now live in a generation, in a society that shuns the word please and thank you, because that was the magic words to me. And to be quite honest with you, I believe it's the gratitude and the thankfulness that I have in my heart and as I execute outwardly, and it's my please etiquette, which goes to show I don't want anybody to ever think I'm ever entitled.
What is aloha to you?
Well, aloha to me is the epitome of good character.
Ooh, I love that.
Right?
The epitome of good character. So what
character.
does you mean by that?
Because all the virtues and characteristics of what is true aloha, that in itself will be somebody who has good character. Because with aloha, with true aloha, you're going to be compassionate, kind, thoughtful, respectful.
Putting others first.
Putting others first.
Love.
Sacrifice, love. Sacrifice you can
Service,
give, right? Service,
giving.
kokua, help.
Malama,
Malama,
take care.
taking care, respect. We're going to be respecting each other. We're going to be respecting the aina, the land. We're going to be respecting, the animals.
So value, though, the Hawaiian values, the aloha, you got here from your ohana.
Yes, absolutely.
And you have used it in your work to impact others.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me about that?
To a fault.
To a fault.
To a fault. We had this talk earlier today, and Karen was almost in disbelief when I said, Karen, people around the world, no matter what accomplishments you can have, no matter, you could have the #1 song on the charts right now, you could be the biggest artist with all the money rolling in your pocket and be walking next to the most powerful people on the planet. But if you don't act like a star behind closed doors, they won't treat you like a star.
Yeah, that is astonishing to me.
It is astonishing, yeah.
Yeah, that you have to, because he was, well, you could tell it. Like,
No, go ahead.
Because, like, he was saying, like, even if he helps clean the table or wash dishes, if he's invited somewhere, they will treat him and look at him differently all of a sudden. That astonishes me.
That's not a coincidence. Can't be a coincidence anymore. Because
I would think you would get more respect, more, because of your humility.
Right. Or humbleness.
Yes.
Right? You're not putting yourself above anybody.
Yes.
But isn't that the Hawaiian style?
That is very Hawaiian.
Thank you.
To see that and to, help wash dishes, help clean up. But you're saying it's the opposite reaction in the world. That people lose their respect for you. That you have to keep this.
Or if it's not even about losing their respect, it's about they lost the
idea of
you being this important person.
Because now they see you washing dishes and cleaning up
and maybe they wouldn't even do it themselves, so that they see me lower than them.
Wow, and they treat you accordingly.
They treat you differently.
Wow.
So I'm saying with this aloha that I bring to the world, to a detriment, and I've been aware about this for a long time. So like I said to her classroom today, and a couple of teachers that were sitting in, and the dean, what are you willing to compromise? At what price? And if I had to lose fans or not make it further because I didn't want to play the role of being what I felt you need to be able to become huge.
To be the diva.
To be the diva. Yeah. To get all that comes along with being the diva.
You know,
what I mean?
and now that I think
It's
about
not
it,
worth it,
that
not to
even
me.
starts in school, because
Of course it does.
who is the more popular kids? It's usually the mean kids, if you think about it.
You would know that.
The queen
You
bee,
would know.
the mean girl,
Really?
that's the one who gets all the followers, which is so ironic and interesting. It's usually not the kindest, sweetest, meekest person, and it's weird that it's now that's playing out on a bigger scale.
And a bigger scale. That's becoming the
Yeah.
normal
Yeah.
across the board for.
Do you
the
think
gaps,
we're losing
the
a
borders.
sense of what is right and wrong and some of these core values and recognizing how you live and how you like kokua and help and give? We're losing some of that each generation. Do you think like we're losing that? And I say that because my students, even the questions they asked him last year at the other school, this year at this school, one of the
Go
first,
tell them,
one of
go
the
tell them
first,
the first question.
the very first
Wait, but
question.
first, tell them how old the student was.
Well, fourth grade, I
Fourth
believe.
grade, so
Fourth
maybe
or
no more
fifth
than
grade.
9, maybe 9 years old.
Yeah, and the very first question they asked him was, "How much money do you make?" Which is so inappropriate.
No, how much money do I have?
Oh, how much money do you
Because
have?
make is one thing,
Yeah.
have means what you get.
Yeah.
What you get
How
at
much-
home inside the safe.
How much money do you have? That was the question, the first question from one of my students, fourth, fifth grade, to him. I think she's fifth grade. To him, and what a like rude and inappropriate question. But
I
that's
gotta go laughing.
and even my other
How much? Straight
other
up, don't
students.
even blink, yeah?
Yeah. That's the
Scott,
first question.
Scott, how much money do you have?
Yeah. And then the other question from last year, the students wanted to know how many followers do you have?
Yeah.
So it's like their focus and their idea of success or importance is money, followers,
Popularity.
popularity,
Status,
status, all of that.
Salary,
And
material.
not even asking him about him
Him,
or
me,
who
right.
you are.
And
It's all
don't
about
get me wrong, right? Don't get us wrong. These kids are beautiful kids, right? I mean,
Uh-huh.
you can see the beauty. They got heart. They got this. But it's just we're acknowledging where they're at today. Where is their focus? What are their priorities?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what are their ulterior motives? The most important thing to them. That's what it
Speak,
is.
yeah.
So
I
can I
mean,
ask you something though?
yeah.
In lieu of what you just said. You're in the education system for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
You're also got your hands everywhere. You know what I mean? You're in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
You're out there in the communities. You're just everywhere. You're the teacher. You're the performer. You're the. What have you seen as far as the changes of what used to be to what is now the new normal? And when did you see this start to happen?
I think more recently in the last few years, definitely in the last 10 years.
Last 10 years.
But I definitely see it more with the internet, social media,
Okay.
because that's how people communicate more than
Okay.
person to person.
So you're saying
anymore.
when social media really started to kick in,
Yes,
is when
I
we
would say
started to
last
lose
5
all
years.
of these virtues and values and
the
and-
humanity,
Oh.
the humanity, the humanness of each other and our connection and the way we communicate with each other. Because it's all about what you have and what you can show, because that's what you see in Snapchat, in Instagram, and that's what you see, and that's what they're asking about. They're not asking about the humanness and the inspiration in you and all of that, because that's not on Instagram, that's not on YouTube,
Well,
that's not
knowing
on...
you, then how do you implement these things in your classroom?
It's very hard. It's a challenge, I think, for many teachers, because the one way we do it is we live it, because you do it by
Lead by
example.
example.
You lead by example. So you be kind, you be compassionate,
You show etiquette.
you
and-
show etiquette, you say please and thank you, and you hope that they notice and that they pick that up. That's one of the big ways, is you lead by example. I mean, you had a number one song, a number one hit in England,
Yeah,
right?
uh-huh.
Yeah. So I mean,
Supernatural, yeah.
Supernatural, right? Wow. So your experiences with that,
Right. And I guess that to me is what blows me away. It's like, I guess that's what would come natural in us. That's what it would be. We would, like, try picture us in class back then. That would be our questions. But of course, it's a different era.
It's
We'd
a
be about
different-
like, oh, so what does it feel like to live in cold weather? Do you ever have a hard time being in snow? Or, you know, Hawaii people are so much more kicked back and laid back. Do you trip out sometimes having to be on a pace of a New York City person in the New York City minute? You Even you would think that's the kind of question,
Yes,
so right?
yes,
So
yes.
it's just it does take me back to though when every single question is focused on those things, materialism, popularity, money.
So you writing
looks.
this book and doing
Yeah.
the Aloha project that you're doing,
Yes.
I mean, that's so relevant and so needed.
I think so.
But the challenge is so great.
Yeah.
So how do you teach and inspire? And
Same thing as you said. I lead by example because there's nothing worse than being a hypocrite. You don't do it yourself,
and I think live with honesty.
Yeah.
Like be honest.
Yeah.
Because like it's not all. I always tell my students all my lows as well as my highs. So I always tell them the struggles that I've had or anything that's going on, so that they know my life is not all roses and
Yes.
and vacations and wonderful things. It's struggle, financial struggle, health struggle. This is real life. It's not everything that you see on social media.
Yes.
It's real.
And
it's
the power
real.
of that vulnerability.
The power of
That
vulnerability.
vulnerability to be able to be real, because the epitome of being real is vulnerability. It's when you're not going to even be thinking about how you're perceived or how I look. Honey, I'm showing you what it is right now, period. This is what I'm afraid of. This is my greatest fear. This is my greatest hope. This is my greatest. That's what vulnerability is when you're not afraid to. You're not filtering anything at this point. You're not editing anything in or out. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's a
Yes.
package deal.
Yes,
And it's all there,
yes,
right?
yes. And so do you? Because I think you do that. You show your vulnerability.
Today I spoke about, you told me to tell a story about feeding the birds.
Yes.
I told the kids that I had 97 cents in my pocket during my journey. I know what it's like to ration bread, white bread, and try to eat on one loaf of bread for 1 week. And then I realized I had enough when I started to realize that bird story, that I had enough to feed the birds, and how that changed my life around. So, there is power in vulnerability and telling them the truth, not being shamed to show them your struggles. And, it's not about impressing.
It's not about impressing.
It's
It's
not about
about
impressing,
being.
being.
But that
Yeah.
is related to acting. Because acting.
I live in Aiea, and I was at Aiea 7-Eleven, the one right by Aiea High School, around the corner. Okay, it was by C&H Sugar, and it was traffic time. Everybody's getting out of work. Okay, and I would open the door and come out and open the door right when cattle coming in. You know what I mean? Like just when a whole stampede of people were coming in. So I was holding the door open, and the first 4 guys was like this tall next to me, and they were all wearing Aiea High School jerseys. So I figured they play football. All Soles, okay, all Samoans. And the first one goes like this to me: "Thank you, sir." Second one, "Mahalo." Third one, "Thank you." Fourth one, "Thank you, sir." Okay. They never just leave them up to one to say thank you for all 3, because I've seen that before. If one say thank you, the rest of the thing, he went say them already.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So
But they each
everyone
said
said mahalo, thank you. These big Samoans from Aiea High School, my alma mater, thank you. Next one was in Japanese man, thank you. Lady, haole lady, thank you. Father, and then when little girl, because it looked like maybe it was no more than 4 years old, father goes, "Oh, mahalo." The little girl following like this, walking, "Thank you." Okay, long story short, went all the way down to I went count, because that's what I do. As an artist, this is the thing to me now. I'm analyzing the situation, you know what I mean? And I'm going 12, 13. 13 of 13 when all acknowledge me and say thank you. Even if they came in a group, or the little girl with the father, even she'd look at me like this, "Thank you," after the father already said thank you. So I counted 14. Now here comes 15. Okay, I knew this girl. This is not a diss. I'm just being real. Okay, I'm being real. I knew this girl was out there. She probably was smoking something, whatever. Okay, she had her buds in her ear. She walking in like this. She walking, and I'm going, okay, this is gonna break the streak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
14 to 15.
That's pretty
That's
good.
still good. That's
Right,
excellent.
right.
Go travel the world and see if this happens
Right.
anywhere else in the world. Sure enough, she come up to, she stops, she go take off her bud like this. She like this. "Mahalo, brah.
Wow.
Mahalos, brah." She put the bud back and she walked in. I went like this. How you like that? 15 out of 15 people in Hawaii, in Aiea area, no matter what race, because it was all different races.
This is making me tear up.
But
I don't know why.
That's why I was crying.
This makes me
That's
tear up.
what I cry. See, again, we can get this way, but you can because
for me.
yes.
I see you.
And I see what you just did for me.
And I see what
and
you
I'm
did.
thankful for what you
even
just
if
did.
they don't even consciously know that's
Why
what they're
saying
saying.
it, right.
But they're saying, I see you.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's making me tear
But see,
up.
the tears that we share like this is how our whole relationship started.
Yeah.
That's why it's J1, J2.
Oh my
and at
God.
first I'm thinking, wow, thank you, Akua, which means God in Hawaiian, you know, for allowing me to experience this and take this back with me the day before I go back. To be able to have seen that I felt what I was talking about only in Hawaii. And that's why I said, when I went home, I went, Mom, I got to tell you something. I said, Mom, I got to tell this story, you know. It can seem so silly to anybody else. Like it's just, oh, you know, so they all said thank you. And then, you know what I mean? I don't take it that lightly. It's like I saw every race, every type. It didn't matter about age, even social status. I could tell this one had more color, more money. This one maybe never. This one's young. This one, and it didn't matter. They all said, "I see you. I see you for what you just did for me. Mahalo, thank you." And that's what I mean about what makes Hawaii so special. Is that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? That it's still here. You know what I mean?
It's still here.
It's
But
still
I want to
here.
instill that in my students and the young people that you're trying to reach through your book and your music and your projects. Because when they ask you what kind of car do you drive, how much money do you have, that is not seeing you.
No.
That's what they're missing. And I want them to be able to see each other and see the person and not care about all that other stuff.
Right.
The followers that you have on Instagram.
Well,
or
I don't even
whatever.
go on Instagram. That's one of the things. The followers you don't have because you don't even go on Instagram. I'm like you. I don't even know my password.
I know. I
how
forgot
to
my
log
password.
in.
Yeah.
And I do Facebook. Oh, Scott, what's up with you? Facebook only for the old fat kind. Or the old fat. Well, hello. I do it to. I'm on Facebook because
you
I
can
can keep it
connect.
to my family and my friends. That's it. That's the only reason I have Facebook. Of course, I'm gonna post. Scott did this. I did this. I'm gonna do this. Of course, but my real core intent is not to try to promote my career and try to make myself a bigger star. You know what I mean?
It's your
It's to
connection.
keep close to my auntie, my uncle, my cousin, my this, because we have a media form, a medium that we can connect and stay connected. That is my ulterior motive with that. That's where it starts and that's where it ends. So, people don't realize that it's a lot more painful to do what I do and frustrating because when my focus is on this issue and what an important one it is, right? I don't edit. I don't edit or filter what it is that I allow myself to see. I'm not one of those that I'm selective. I'm selectively hearing, selectively seeing, and I also believe in this philosophy that no pain, no gain. It's a physic. It's a go to the.
So what is that pains you?
What pains me is not being able to deny or wanting to deny of the truth of what I see everywhere. That is the new normal. The new normal is a lot of us, especially kids, because we're not being taught that, we're not seeing each other for who we are. We're seeing each other for what we got.
For what we
We're
have.
not seeing each other for what I can do and help you to give. I'm seeing you with what you can do for me. You know what I mean? So, you know, Hawaii, if we can hop everywhere around, we were raised, you know, to even respect the environment. So it can almost be, we could be ridiculed because we never just pick flowers to go make leis.
Yeah.
We were told by the Hawaiians that knew what they were talking about, that you got to ask permission from the tree before you go take
Yes, yes.
And you better pick
Only
just
what you
what you need. Because if
need.
you take any more than what you need, you're going to pull your ear.
Yes, yes, yes.
'Cause
Even
now
when you
you're
fish,
wasting.
even when you, whatever, you take from the aina just what you need. You ask for permission and you
Right.
thank them.
You thank
Yeah,
them
yeah.
for what you took. So if you're thinking we're going like this, I'm not. This all connects if you guys can follow us. You know what I mean? It's like you want to talk about doing right. You know, we even do right for one plan.
For one plant.
For one plan.
Yes.
We still see the respect that we had, that we're not going to even. The reason why I brought this up is to make a contrast, to show you you know, it's we see even showing, we're not even going to use the plan. You know what I mean? We're not even going to. take advantage or take for granted the plan. Sorry,
Yes.
but that's what was, you know, instilled in us Kanakas, us locals from the Kapunas and the Hawaiians that taught us the true
Kapunas,
culture.
like our ancestors.
The elders,
The
right? The
elders.
elders. That's what they taught us.
grandparents.
That's what we learned about our culture here in Hawaii. That's what it is to be a true Hawaiian. You know what I mean? Of, you know, and it's not about blood. It's about conduct. You know what I mean? Yes, it's about blood. I take my hat off to blood Hawaiians because there is full-on value to the blood of one Hawaiian. Absolutely. I'm not telling you, I would never argue with the argument of a DNA. Please. But with where we're at today, I think it's more about conduct. Are you living out like what one true Hawaiian should be versus who cares what you look like, are like, draw your blood. If you're not living it out, then why bother? Right?
Living your truth.
Living your truth and living out what really should be the way we really should be doing things. You know what I mean? It's not about there's more pain and frustration and aggravation involved with this process than there is glory. You know, the glory and the happiness and the triumph, you know, it happens, especially when you just can see I touch 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 or, you know, and you know me, and I'm not just trying to give it to me, but I have a real success rate at put me in front of anybody and then they're gonna get it. I make that connection. You've seen it. You've seen it. I spoke at this other school, this private school here, and I was told by you when I spoke before, this is the most difficult child, right? They're afraid that he's the one that can bring the gun to school and go shoot everybody. That's how much he was a problem. Was he or was he not the one that stayed after class to talk to me?
And made a connection with Scott.
Me, right?
So definitely Scott had a way to connect with those kids.
And again, I'm not gonna act like I'm all great. You know what it is? I'm just being vulnerable. We all can. I'm not afraid to be real. I'm not afraid to talk to this kid with all the things that make me no different than him. I'm trying. I made mistakes. I still make mistakes. You know, when you come from that perspective, even that one is going to trust me. That's what it comes down to. Trust too. Yeah, they don't trust you. Nobody trusts each other anymore. It's hard to trust.
It's hard to trust.
Right.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
you know, I have this saying, and okay, I'm going to admit them to all of you on Facebook today. But you go, what's the difference, Scott, when you left Hawaii? If you can even pick out something that you now come back from New York and you're not the Hawaii. I go, okay. You know the saying, you're all innocent till you're proven guilty. Yeah. Scott went on to, I only needed to go through this much for go, okay, now you all guilty till you prove yourself innocent. And I know that sounds very, you know, that doesn't sound good. It sounds very pessimistic. But to be quite honest with you, there's a truth to that.
Because you have to have your guard up.
You can only be pounded and burned so much until I can go, oh, let me just trust you and let me allow you to burn me and beat me, you know, before I go, oh, you too. You know what I'm saying? So no, I don't walk around like this. You know me, I share my aloha.
Yes.
But at the same time, I'm not going to be as though I can be vulnerable. Okay? I'm not stupid.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to be, okay, I'm vulnerable and let me just be this doormat and you can walk up. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I give wholeheartedly my aloha. You know what I mean? I give wholeheartedly the beautiful things that we should share with one another. But at the same time, I've also learned, you know, I cannot just open myself up to just anybody and then just allow myself to constantly be hurt and used and, you know what I mean, taken for granted and abused. And the truth of the matter is, majority of the people that I would experience will put me in that situation. And I see them doing it to each other. And it ain't about Hawaii or New York it's just what's going on in this world right now. And when you look at the political climate, you look at the work climate, right? You look at social media, you look at the entertainment world, right? I mean, go figure. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to say 2 + 2 = 4, and 4 is what we're dealing with right now. You know what I mean? It's quite understandable how we got where we are.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Right.
So,
Or now we also know, like, speak up. Because we cannot trust, we don't like say what we're really feeling. I don't like say because I want to be politically correct. You know, I still want to keep my job. You know what I mean? I gotta still have a, you know, so people are going to look at what they're not going to realize they're going to start losing if they start to really speak their truth. So they don't want to a lot of times go there, right? So then, okay, now it just, so now, okay, then people are not standing like they should stand, that can stand for something. They're not saying what they could be saying about certain things. And when they do, then the sad part is they become so politically motivated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That now nobody like listen to nobody anymore because you look just as bad as them.
Yeah.
Everybody looks bad, you know what I mean? So everybody looks bad, but who's standing for the other stuff? The stuff we talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Those
ensuring
core
them,
values, the
right?
core values.
Absolutely.
Or those who you do open yourself totally to, and that is animals.
Oh yeah.
And no matter how the world or people in the world may disappoint, animals don't.
Never. And even if they
and
do,
animals don't use you or
yes.
take advantage.
And even if
of
an
you.
animal does, because it's like gonna bite you, or it's like because it's been abused, I still gonna say, you know what? The only reason why this animal screwed up is because of a human being. You animal lovers, I know you're laughing at me right now.
But you are such an animal. That is a strong
animals.
passion of yours.
More and more.
And to the point where just a few years ago you decided to become vegetarian.
Yes, 3 years ago I decided to become vegetarian, and this is totally based on animal welfare. So it's not that I don't care about my health. Of course I do. But I didn't go, oh my God, I want to start being more healthy. I want to start being a vegetarian because of those reasons. It's strictly based on animal welfare. And I was aware about a lot of things before, but it was on my way to Australia to do a concert and to speak to some schools where I got more insight about the food industry, and because Australia is such that country.
I love Australia.
Oh, I love Australia for that. That's
but
what
I've
makes
never
Australia.
been, so
But
I
Australia
need to go
is
there.
such that place where you know they're so environmentally aware, and they're so not hypocrites when it comes to we're gonna practice what we preach. They'll do it better than most, you know what I mean? And that I already know that my life and my career is going to be geared towards animals. I'm never going to retire per se, but you have to prioritize, and there's only so much you can do in one day. You know, so I'm going to be living my life for animals very shortly, where it's going to be all about animals.
How can you, and I ask this honestly, how can you delve into the world of fighting for animal rights and fighting for animals with all the cruelty that is done to animals? Because even in our discussion, we went to lunch, and you were talking about how cruel and what they do to certain animals.
Yeah.
Even here,
How they eat dogs.
How they eat dogs here, or how they kill them, or how they, and it actually started to trigger anxiety in me. I was telling him like it's triggering me. It's triggering me. Like I was getting panic attacks.
Yes, me too.
Anxiety.
Me too.
So like, how can you? So that's one of the reasons why I cannot be so out there, because it actually just
hurts and
so
scary
much.
and it's painful.
That I cannot. So how do you deal with that, especially because you want to do more in that area without it causing such deep hurt and without getting anxiety and panic and just like severe trauma? Because I cannot face that. So I don't know how you are able to do it.
I don't even think I'm able to do it.
But you want to, and you are.
Okay, it's like I hyperventilate even thinking the fact of walking into this brutal situations or the torture that's in your face, you know what I mean, that I can't. There is the same thing, as painful as it is to even look at the issues of the things that I want to address in the food chain, the process of how we do things at home, you know, blow torching a living creature because it makes the meat more tender. Forget about the torture. It makes the meat more tender. I mean, where is humanity? Where is your conscious compassion for living creatures, period, right? So, and it's not just, I'm not saying it's not a cockroach, but try to look at one dog in the eyes and not realize what you're doing to it at that moment. So the bottom line is that as much as it can bring the anxiety, my passion and care for what I want to do to help the cause is stronger than my anxiety. It's the same concept. You follow? You know what? Yeah. And if I could be very blatant with everybody, since we're now talking about animals, I love animals so much that would you believe that the only thing that keeps me up at night is animals?
Really?
Yeah. Wow. That's the only thing that when I get a visual of something, when I get, brought insight into something that somebody just said about this animal got abused, or I cannot go to sleep. I cannot get it out of my head. So I realized when they say, what is the most important thing to you that you cannot sleep, you cannot wake up, you cannot wait to get to, you cannot live without this thing, you cannot, that's when you know what your calling is. Okay? That's what you know your calling is, when it's that thing. Well, I realized that as much as I love music and I had a dream and I love kids and I want to do this thing with my book and I want to do it, there is nothing that comes anywhere close to me than my love for animals.
Wow.
Yeah, trip, right?
Yeah.
Passion, that's empathy. So I think that if we can just start with baby steps, not to try to do everything, let's just start with little things. I would say I would start choosing things like compassion and probably empathy more than compassion, because compassion is you almost feeling sorry for, that can come from a more pitiful perspective, where I think empathy is feeling with.
Yes, feeling with.
Feeling for. Not sorry for.
Yes,
I'm so sorry
yes.
for you, right? It's more feeling for, feeling with. So if we start to implement those characteristics,
yes,
right, then maybe we would start doing more things in this world, because it's collective. It's a collective humanity choice that we're making. It's not, well, that's not my dog. No, but that could be my dog. That is my dog. You see what I'm trying to say? And I know it sounds very philosophical and very overly maybe simplistic, but you show me another way. Tell me another way where we can begin to start the dialogue and the, of what can start making things get better as far as us bringing humanity back to our world and our society.
Yes.
And our communities, big and small.
If you could wave a magic wand and give the whole world one character value that is just raised in each person, what would be the one value you would give?
Consciousness.
Consciousness.
Yeah, to be conscious. To
Yeah.
be conscious and aware.
Oh.
To be able to be that person that's going, I see you.
Oh,
If
that's
everybody
chicken
could see,
skin.
if everybody could see each other.
Consciousness.
I see you.
That's also like mindfulness.
Yeah.
There's a big push for mindfulness and mindfulness learning now.
But it's probably where you cannot be mindfulness, have you not consciousness. Because if you're not even conscious, there's no mind. It's almost like it goes hand in hand. So I would say consciousness,
I see you.
conscious and being aware. And it's funny because I have this woman, I get all my Hanai family in the mainland. So Titi Carol goes back with me way back to my home beginning days when I was living on 94th and West End on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And she was Puerto Rican Jewish, and she worked for Schlumberger, which is a French oil company, and she was the executive secretary to the CEO. So you know that person's the one that tells the CEO what to do, right? You need to see this on your desk. You need to. So Titi Karaman, she had it down, man, in Manhattan. She knew how to beat a person that could, okay? So I loved Titi Carol. She would always hang out with me, and she took me in as her nephew, her Hawaiian nephew she never had. But it was Titi Carol who said to me one day, she goes, Scott, it's more simple than you think, okay? There's only two types of people. You can say race, religion, this, that, rich, poor, black, big, fat, tall, I don't care what you say, there's only two types. And she would tell me, conscious and unconscious.
Oh, that is so powerful.
She said that's only this. You could find out no matter what. How did please and thank you turn into a negative? It still blows my mind that I can't even believe I'm talking about it.
Yes,
Like, what?
yes,
Wait, what?
yes,
Are you,
yes.
you joking or what? Right? That's how I feel. But this is reality. And it's one thing to hear it from one community, one state, a whole country, another country, the country from this side to the world to the other side of the world. If you were lucky me to see the whole world, right? Lucky me. It's even more painful when you start to realize it's not about language, it's not about culture, it's almost like this is where we're at already in the world. No matter what language you're speaking, somehow they all got to that same place already. We don't say please, we don't say thank you, we don't say, and I'm not saying everybody, there's still people that do, but I'm saying it's become majority don't, and majority will always rule. Especially, in democratic societies where you have democracy.
Majority creates the norm.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So how do you live consciously? Because it's a choice.
To not be afraid to feel. Let's start with feeling. Don't feel this way. You overreacting. You overthink things. Right? It's like I go, wow, I'm being criticized for living fuller. If living fuller means I'm going to feel more than the average person.
Yes, I'm a deeply feely person. Right. And that's okay.
Right. I'm going to think more deep than the average person. I'm not trying to compete. I'm just saying I'm thinking deeper than what the normal would be. I'm feeling, and to get criticized for that. So.
Oh yes, I know this. I know this.
would
When
be
my
opposite.
mom passed away, and I would be sad or grieving. Of course, people understood, but of course, people didn't want to see me sad or didn't want to see me crying. My students, I was teaching here actually this summer. My mom passed away, and one time I had a moment, and I started tearing up and crying, and the students like, well, we don't want to see you sad or crying, and I said, it's okay. It's okay, because for me, emotions are like the colors of the rainbow, and so it's okay to feel all the colors of the rainbow, the dark colors as well as the light bright
Yes,
colors.
exactly.
They all make the rainbow. You need
Yes,
all the
you need
colors.
all the
You need
colors.
all the feelings.
You need the rain to see the rainbow.
Yes,
Right.
so like it's okay for me to feel like that, and it's okay.
right.
It's sometimes uncomfortable for
Yes.
people to watch or to understand or
Yes.
to let you feel.
Yes.
But oh man,
Right.
it's and
like-
also
Well,
feeling is the way to through healing. I mean, to healing.
Really?
Yeah, to feel and get all that out.
I
That's
didn't
what
know that.
therapy
I
is.
didn't know that.
To
Right.
feel
Seriously.
is to heal. Yeah.
To feel is to heal.
Heal.
Okay, you bump a sticker.
To feel
you
is
heard
to
it. Unless you
heal.
can show me someone that was
To
in a bump
feel is to heal. Yeah, that just came out. I don't know why, but to feel is
I'll
to
go share
heal.
my name with you underneath the bottle.
Okay. That came out in this interview.
But
To
I love
feel
the way
is to
she
heal.
laughs. She laughs with such a hearty laugh from the gut. So anyway, when you're the one that is aware of a lot of stuff
Oh, that's true.
that nobody else is noticing, then you gotta be hurting or more upset than anybody else because you're the only one noticing it.
Yes.
You follow?
So you're the one feeling.
You're the one feeling it.
You're the one
Right,
conscious. You're the
right.
one seeing it.
Right.
Maybe that's why
And so
the
it's
world
hard.
moves into unconsciousness so easily.
To not feel the pain.
To not feel the pain.
And not be fearful.
And not
right?
to see.
Not to have to be scared.
Yes.
Wow. That's
Yes,
it.
yes, yes.
And they don't even realize that they're pushing that
Yeah.
over there because they don't want to. Scary, too scary.
To be conscious, maybe to suffer.
Yeah. They don't want to. They don't want to see. They don't want to know. You know what I
It's
mean?
too
A lot of
hard
them.
to
Yeah.
face.
Yeah. So again, you know what I mean? It's
So
not
our
like it's-
job is to make the world safer so that people can feel.
to make them feel safe that they can go there because they're not alone. Because they can't.
Because-
See his show.
because,
They were
yeah.
famous people.
But-
How could they not feel?
But
that they were
again,
being
that's
seen?
the show. That's like a student asking
Yes.
you how much money you have, what
Yes.
car do you drive.
Yes.
That is not seeing you.
Yes.
That is not
Yes.
seeing you.
Yes. Yes.
And to feel not, oh, it's gonna make me cry. Not be to me not seen or not heard is like the worst vulnerability.
It's the worst. That is the worst rejection that you could ever receive in life, is for somebody to ignore
To not see you.
and to not see you.
You could have a TV show and people not see
Seeing you. That they see as they've seen your TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can be the #1 singer in the whole wide world. They love your voice, they love your music, you got 100 million sales.
Buy
but
all
only-
your handbags, buy all your
Yeah,
wallets,
right,
Kate Spade.
right.
Buy all your clothes.
all your clothes, but only you behind closed doors as Kate Spade or Whitney Houston or something like that knows what they walking through in their lives behind closed doors every day. When they got it, when you're not seeing them there, they live in their life. And what we're talking about is maybe when they're living their life, that's where only they knew they were not being seen, and it was making them more sad. They could be thinking, you know, aloha is something that I really believe the world could use a lot of right now. And also knowing the way people perceive Hawaii. I think it's a Hawaii person, not just me, but those like me, can really make a dent in this world of things that we need to establish, because I found that people around the world will be more open to somebody from Hawaii. It's just, it comes with our territory. Aloha.
Why do you think that is?
Because everybody loves Hawaii.
But
Everybody
why? Why?
Our aloha spirit. About that, 15 people went say thank you in 2018 to me in
Holding the door at
right,
7-Eleven.
Right. It's like, that's why. Again, like I said, I'm sorry if I seem like I could have been dissing or prioritizing with favoritism, you know, Hawaii people, oh, we're the best in the world. You know, that's why I kept trying to be really apologetic or sensitive about how I'm saying this, but it's true. You're asking me with all sincerity, why? And you're talking to somebody who lived away 28 years now. You know what I mean? I lived 26 years here. I lived 28 years there. So I already, you know what I mean, have been gone more long over there to know why, or at least have a better idea of why. They love Hawaii. So that's what I mean when I say, but when you find that universal thing that we call aloha, that is universal, it's a universal spirit. When you find that universal spirit of aloha in Hawaii, Look and touch. I swear you cannot touch it. That's when I start to get emotional. Do you know what I mean? Because you cannot. I have met, and if you only know the beautiful people I've met all over the world, I have met the most beautiful people in so many parts of the world. Every part of the world, I have met the most beautiful people that get so much joy in aloha, so much true aloha, right? But I have never went to a place in the world where I've ever seen communities like Hawaii, where we come together. So when you say, I'm sorry, when you say like minority, you know what I mean? You say, we're the only place that is people that know more majority, we're all minority. That has a lot to do with it, Karen. Do you know what I'm saying? You go other places, there is majority everywhere. I don't care if you go Japan, you can find Japanese. You go Germany, you can find Germans. You go France, you can find French. Yes, it's multicultural today. You have all kinds living amongst each other in all these countries. But there's still a majority. There's still a majority.
But over here, so diverse.
Even go to the mainland. You know, go to Kentucky, go to Wyoming, go to New York, there's still going to be a majority of black, white, brown. You know, that's the majority. You come to Hawaii, we no more black, white, brown. We got everything.
The rainbow.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And then go figure why Brother Is can come up with that song. And it's a song they be like, are you kidding me? That song's been done and done and done, but everybody just loves Over the Rainbow.
From Brother Is.
From Brother Is.
It's different. It's
right.
special.
You see what I'm trying to say?
There's mana in
all
that.
These things show something. These people get it. I just saw everywhere get the murder. Everywhere get the road rage. Hawaii too. But not everywhere still get that kind people.
Because he told a story, if you were watching the whole time, he told a story where he went into store and he held the door and every single person, all different age group, all different cultural background, ethnicity,
looked at me and said thank you.
Looked at him and said thank you. And that is special.
And when you're like me, not the typical person that's traveling around the world, I have a better reference point than most, typical people that may not travel as much as I do, to know where they don't say thank you for opening the door. You know what I mean? So I never just kind of go over there. I've been around.
So to recognize.
Who knows, you know what I mean? A lot of people don't say nothing. And then, then it's the opposite. You get the other Scott. Well, excuse me, Your Royal Highness. I saw another sprinkle rose petals when you went walk through. Maybe then you would have looked at me, and then maybe not. You know what I mean?
I want to ask you about this. Yeah. I just saw this. What does it say?
You don't want to get the vision.
Okay. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. Psalm 18:2.
There you go.
Why that? Why
That's
that?
exact because. And again, I don't want to make any religious, like I'm going in a political, religious direction here. It's not about that. But for me, okay, that's my faith. I do believe in God, and I believe when I say, you put God first, all else follows. So the Lord is my rock and my shield. And
is this your favorite verse?
No.
Oh, okay.
But this is the truth of a lifestyle for me. The Lord is my rock and the Lord is my strength. So I always feel that I have stability and I'm grounded because it's not my ground that I'm grounded on. It's not my establishment.
God is your foundation.
Yeah, that's God's foundation. And so this connects to put God first and all else follows. So for me, that's how I live my life. I always just put, God first in what I would believe, what God's intention would be for his creation. You know what I mean? And then everything else follows, meaning things just fall into place rather than trying to do it opposite. Yeah. Trying to do what I think and trying to do everything of what I'm thinking, I should do. And then you go back and you power, you go this. So what you think, God? You know what I mean? And you go, you should have talked to me before you started. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So now I learned that whole, put God first and don't worry, just everything else follows it. Just do the right thing. Putting God first means living right as you can live. You know what I mean? Doing right as you can do, or what you think is right is. Help as many people as much as you can help. Just that, in other words, just focus on that. Don't worry about anything else, like what you can get, how you can do this, it just comes with, it follows. And it does. It does. Wow. I don't forget that I'm that same person that was eating bread, one loaf of bread, stretching up for one whole week, feeding the birds.
Because all you had was 97 cents.
All I had was 97 cents.
So what's your favorite verse, if that's not your favorite verse? Do you have a favorite?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. Only one thing. He says, I leave you with a new commandment. I leave you with a new commandment. I look at it this way. Wow, if we loved one another truly the way he loved us and showed us by example, we wouldn't have all these problems.
That's true.
We wouldn't have all this pilikia going on the way we do.
That's true.
Selfishness, this, corruption. It wouldn't, because you're loving the other person as much as yourself. Now that gets back to me saying, that is my dog. Isn't that the same thing?
Yes, it is.
To love one another as I have loved you. I believe Christ Almighty is a Christ or a Lord that if he had Lexi and that was his dog, he loved your dog as much as he loved his dog, because it was the same dog with the same feeling, the same, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
that is what humanity is.
That's
it's what
humanity.
ties us together, not what separates us.
Yes.
That's not my dog, so why should I care as much as if it was my dog?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's what Jesus is really saying to us was, you're in this together. You're not in this separately.
Yeah.
You're in this together. So you're either going to make it work together, or you can all suffer separately, because that's the choice you take, the path you take, you choose to take.
Yes, yes.
You know what I mean? So
I wanted to ask you, because I know you talk to God. Does God talk to you?
Oh, does God talk to me? I think so.
Have you had experiences?
Yeah.
A moment?
Yeah. And sometimes it comes to me in dreams. It comes to me in my heart. But I believe that if I say God speaks to me, God speaks to me. Well, I can't just say my heart, because I've also learned that whole saying that somebody came up with. Yes, use your heart, but don't forget to take your brain. Do you know what I mean? So there's a virtue to that too. It can't be all heart and you're not using your brain sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say instinctively. Instinctive. It's an instinctive feeling that I can feel God. Like I just know what God's telling me that I should be doing or not be doing. Do you?
Yes.
You do. Feel.
Yeah.
How do you know? Or what makes you think this is God talking to me?
Well, I had several experiences where I felt like it was definitely, I don't know.
Was it a thought? Was it a feeling? I heard a voice? Or
I had experiences where I heard a voice. Okay. I had experience. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. I had experience where I heard a voice. I had experiences where I saw light. I had experiences. Most of this was through my journey with my mom and caregiving for her.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I had a visitation from Jesus in the hospital, which I knew, I just knew, just no denying that it was Jesus. Because the light was so big and the love was so immense, like no words can express the love. Right. And he just told me that my mom was in the hospital and not doing well. And he just said, don't worry, you'll have at least, it made me cry, at least 5 more years. And she lived 5 more years.
Exactly 5 more years. See, that's not a coincidence that it came out
exact.
That's
not a coincidence. And I knew it was him. And then there was one time where my mom got well and I was like praying and I said, how can I love you more to God? Like to thank God for healing my mom. Because at different points my mom was healed and surprised doctors. She had a lot of miracles along the way. And I said, how can I love you more? And the voice said, love others. And then I said, how can I serve you more? And he said, serve others. And that's not anybody. That's not a thought in my head. That's God.
Right. Especially with where you were at in that moment.
Yes.
Why would you be thinking that way when you needed something for you at that moment?
Because in my head the question was, how can I love you more? And the answer was love others. How can I serve you more? The answer was serve others.
And see what special. And so when you say God, we left off at God speaks to us. Do you hear God? Karen asked me the question, does God speak to me? And I said, does he to you? And we expressed our vulnerability to show you and tell you how we believe he has and when he has. I believe that what I'm doing right now is God driven. I really do. I'm not like on this holier than thou mission, but it's not something that Scott Katsura me is just concocting on my own saying, I think I want to do this. To be quite honest, you know why I know it's God? If I can go there with you guys. Because why would anybody want to do this? That's how I feel. Why would I want to tackle these topics, these issues? Why would I? Why wouldn't I want to just go party and have fun? Why would I want to?
Or just sing songs.
Or just sing songs.
Write songs and
sell,
make money and be happy and sell write songs that will
that
sell.
Drunk love.
Rather
this
than
song,
write a
this
book for kids about character
Integrity,
values,
right. And then
or
struggle,
champion animal rights, or do whatever else
right,
you're doing.
right.
Yeah.
And that's how I know it's in my crazy. If anybody can relate to me here, I'm out of my element. I'm out of my comfort zone. People think that I was out of my comfort zone when I moved away 28 years to go from local Halava Heights to New York City. For 28 years, you better believe that's out of my comfort zone. But would you believe that that's preschool compared to now me coming out of my comfort zone in this genre of my life? Now coming into another part of my life of, it's not about geographical location. It's about precise context of defining myself of this is who I am, or this is how I want to be, or this is how I wish the world could be, or this is what that's a whole different kind of thing from geographical cultural shock. Culture shock. I live, I'm used to do this in Hawaii and I'm not used to do this in New York. Well, you get over it after a while. You know what I mean? You get acclimated. At least I did. And I'm very adaptable. That's one of my strengths. But so why do I believe that this is God compelling me to do this? Is because I know myself enough to know I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? And I know that sounds like
oxymoron.
Yeah, it's an oxymoron, a hypocrite, but believe me, I know what I'm talking about. It's like inside of me, I wouldn't want to do this. I wouldn't want to tackle things that are very uncomfortable, or having to open my eyes and continually see the things that are infecting everyone.
So why
infecting
do you do
the children? Because just like you, when you heard God say to you, when you say, how can you better serve you? And he said, to help others. It's the same thing.
So you feel like that's your calling?
Yeah. Because the older I get, I guess maybe the older we all get, if you are conscious and you're wise, you know, life is short no matter how long you live, right? Life is short no matter how long you live, especially if you're comparing that to eternity, if there is such a thing, right? Eternity. So I look at it this way. In my age of, maturing, I want to be more sure that I'm doing what I should be doing while I'm here. It's more important to me as years run out. And I don't know about you, but the older I get, the faster it goes. What? I thought we just took the Christmas tree down. Now we're putting them back up. Not to mention lifestyle changes. Now they're busting them out in, not even Halloween, they're busting them out already. Used to be after Thanksgiving this coming out. Now before Halloween in New Jersey and New York, they're busting out Christmas stuff for sale, right? So they are making it faster now, okay, for come up. So, I guess that's it. I take more time to be more sure, of, is this what I should be doing? And because I have faith and I do believe in God, Akua, Lord, am I doing what I should be doing to serve you, not myself? What is it that I should be doing? And I got the same thing you got, which is no coincidence why we're sitting here together right now.
And that's living consciously.
You got to be conscious to know what you think you heard, right? So that's what I think I heard. To serve others and to help others walk in light, shed more light on the things that I, have given you and you are consciously aware about.
These things. And thank you for joining us and listening in on our conversation and all the things we were talking about.
I would love to listen to the playback to see what we talked about. It was like
we almost forgot about you guys, and we're
before
like,
you know it, I've cried. You
I
cried.
know.
You're like, why was I crying now? No.
I know. But
yeah,
thank you so much for coming into my classroom and speaking to my students and
I
all
had a
the
great
work
time.
that you're doing.
It was awesome, though. Thank
for
you.
animals, for children, for all vulnerable populations, actually. So thank you so much. You're amazing.
And thank you too for doing the same thing, Karen, but for seeing me.
I see you.
You know what I mean? And I see you too.
I see
Yeah,
you.
that's what it is, right? Isn't that what it comes down to, right,
Yes.
everybody? I see you too.
Yes.
Love you, hon.
Love you too.
All right, you guys. Thank you.
And you know what I just realized? I think I went FB Live on my personal page instead of Healing Hawaii page.
Really?
Yeah. But I will share this video to my Healing Hawaii page. Because see, we're talking. I just went
How you like that for consciousness?
not conscious.
All right, you guys. I love you guys.
Love you so much. Hey,